Welcome to an all-new edition of Look Back in Amber, from exclusive interviews to interesting insider insight. Since 2010, we've been the best place to be for all things audio for us, Newport County fans. Coming up for the next 45 minutes or so, I'm Luke. I'm in the big chair tonight, and I've got the post-match interview with Graham Coughlan, and I want to go through the release and retain list, which was released this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Stephen. I'm in the little chair again. I've got the commentary highlights, and I'll give my thoughts on the list.
Never miss out. Subscribe to the podcast, or make sure you listen live at 3 p.m. on a Sunday or 7 p.m. on a Wednesday like tonight after almost all League 2 home matches.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Wherever you're listening to in the world, hi. Whether it's sunny Spain or rainy Newport as it's been today.
Yep.
Welcome to Look Back in Amber. Yeah. Before we get into the usual festivities of the show, let's address the elephant in the room.
Yep.
There's no Ian Lambsdale today.
There's no Ian Lambsdale. He's taken a week off, and
well deserved in all fairness.
Well deserved. Yeah, we miss him already.
We do.
He's in the sunny climes of Salou, Barcelona.
He is
doing Daniel Craig impersonations on the beach. Yeah.
Our good friend Ian Lambsdale for you. Hey, if you listen to the indie show, you know that they're still looking for a new James Bond.
Yep.
So there you go.
I think we found him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is just me and Stephen with you this evening, or whatever you listen to on the podcast. It began on Monday at 9:30 in the morning, very early start on Monday morning. In the marquee with the NCR warm-up team, the kids from Villadinos and Newport and the 12s, and then some amazing live music from Tinty and the Bucket Hat. Stephen, you were in there, and it was it was jam-packed.
Very. It's the busiest I've seen it this season, and I think maybe everybody. The weather didn't help probably because it was raining as well. But yeah, I think everybody, and Tinty as well. You know, he always goes down well. He's a brilliant plan to have for the last game of the season as well. So it looked rocking in there. Yeah,
and as you say, Tinty are just amazing, and especially with their county songs and their message for anti-bullying.
Yeah, fantastic.
Anyway, we did play Crewe. So, Stephen, how did Crewe go into the game yesterday?
Yeah, well, they lost their previous match against Bradford, and in their last 12 matches, they'd won 6, drawn 6. But Crewe had not drawn since March the 4th against Sutton, after they'd drawn 4 in a row. Crewe had lost their last 3 away matches, and in the last 7, they'd won 1, lost 6. Crewe had failed to score their last 3 away matches, and on their last 2 visits to Newport, they'd failed to score. In the last 5 meetings, Crewe had won 2, lost 3, and their last win in Newport came in March 2018, a 1-2 win.
So kind of reason to be optimistic going into that game, looking at those stats.
Yeah,
Newport County lined up yesterday. Nick Townsend in goal, Cameron Norman is a right centre-back, Matty Baker and Mickey Demetriou, Aaron Lewis with a beach blonde hair.
Yeah, he had his beach-ready hair, didn't he? Yep.
Gone blonde.
Yeah.
It's the most striking thing in the game, I think. With Will Evans on the left-hand side, Aaron Wildick, Scott Bennett and Harry Charles leads the midfield through Omar Bogle, and a debut in Kiban right up front.
Yeah, great for him to get his full debut at home as well. So.
We've seen it at the end of last season where James Robury gave Harrison Bright his league debut, and we've seen it again here where he gave Kiban right his first start.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Should we hear what happened yesterday, Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock? It was weird saying that.
Yeah, it's 12:30 actually, not 3 o'clock.
12:30?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Rodney Pray for the last match of the season. Newport County face Crewe, 2 sides who will not have any promotion or relegation issues to sort out this afternoon, but are 2 of 7 sides spread out in the middle of the table, just 3 points apart. So either side could finish as high as 10th by the end of the afternoon, should results go their way, and as low as possibly 16th. But mid-table for the 2 of them. It's Chris Chappell with you on commentary for the final time in 2022-23. Alongside a man on Coronation Weekend who loves nothing more than to sit atop his throne. It's His Highness, Stephen Howell.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chris. Thank you very much. Hello, my loyal subjects. Great to be here. Yeah, it's kind of not really that much on this game there, really. You know, kind of possibly finish in the top half of the table, but but I'm still expecting a really good game, actually, I think. But I know, like, the last few meetings between these two teams, it's been settled by the odd goal. I got a funny feeling that both teams are going to go for it today, and we're going to see some goals.
And Ajay with his shot, tipped onto the bar by Townsend, coming in off the right flank. Crewe's top scorer burst through a couple of challenges and left-footed, picked out the far top corner, but Townsend back in the side this afternoon with a flying save that should have saved his side. Well, he's not been in the team, so you could be forgiven for him being a bit rusty, but that was a lovely save from Townsend.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save by Townsend, but yeah, good run by Ajay as well, very dangerous.
Shot from Adebisi into the corner, and the left-footed right back breaks the deadlock here. 10 minutes into the second half for Crewe Alexandra. It's his third goal of the season. He came in off the right flank there, given a bit too much time to shoot, and he placed it superbly beyond the dive of Nick Townsend. And Newport's home woes continuing as they go a goal down.
Yeah, maybe that's what they need, is a goal to wake them up a bit, as we've seen so often. Yeah, beautiful finish, by Adebisi. Kind of Corny Baker Richardson-esque, I would say. Cutting in and then a nice strike into the top corner. Hopefully now this will galvanise County a little bit.
McNeil on the right-hand side finds Bogle laid off to Lewis. And the shot comes in from Evans, when perhaps Lewis should have had a shot himself. Nice offload by McNeil to Waite down the right-hand side. And McNeil dancing his way through, goes down, and the referee points to the penalty spot. And with 15 minutes to go, Newport County have the chance to level things up. Omar Bogle focused on the ball. Takes his time. Little shuffle and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Tucks the kick into the bottom right corner. And that is his 18th goal of the season. County level at 1-1. And on the balance of play, it's probably what they deserve from this afternoon. Well, bags of composure there, tucked it away, nice and simple.
Yeah, really cool. I think that's it's the man you wanted at taking the penalty. I think that's 7 goals, 2 assists in his last 8 games now. He's really finished the season strong, isn't he?
Ryan Welsh looks for Norman on the far post, brings it down, drills it in, takes a deflection. McNeil on the turn, has deflected in. Kavanagh and Bogle both celebrate in the middle. Bogle points to his chest. He's saying he got the final touch. If he does, that is goal 19 for the big number 9. But great play from Cam Norman on the right. McNeil again wriggling through a tight spot. The ball just pinged around. Kavanagh was there, as was Bogle. And I think the top scorer will take all the honours on that one. From being a goal down, County lead 2-1 in added time. What a turnaround, Steve.
Yeah, brilliant. And Omar Bogle scores 2 goals. I think that's the 3rd time in the last 3 or 4 home games as well. Yeah, brilliant turnaround by County. Since they got the penalty, they've been the better side, haven't they? And the 2 youngsters coming on and made a real impact. It was probably their last game for Newport County on loan.
But chance for Crewe at the other end now. Brooke into the corner, and they've thrown it away. Having come from behind to lead, seconds later, Crewe get the goal to make it 2-2 at the other end, and their fans are going absolutely ballistic. Well, they just allowed Brook too much space, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can't allow him. He's had a few efforts in there as well.
Edge of the Crewe box, back to the goalkeeper, and the referee blows for full time. A thrilling end to the game. Newport County conceded 10 minutes into the second half after a pretty sedate first period. They worked hard to get back in and got a penalty inside the last quarter of an hour. Omar Bogle, coolness personified, to smash it low into the corner. And then he got the final touch in a goalmouth scramble with a minute of added time on the clock there, and that looked to have won it for Newport. But they switched off, and it was Brook who levelled seconds later from the edge of the area. Disappointment in what was a crazy end to the match. Newport end up with just 6 home wins from their 23 league games here at Rodney Parade, which is not enough to sustain anything in the top half of the table. But at least it's not 3 defeats in a row here to finish the campaign. It looks like Newport will stay in 15th in League 2, when they could have ended up in 10th had results gone their way. The final score, Newport County 2, Crewe Alexandra 2.
Thank you to Chris and Stephen for that one. It feels weird being the last game. It feels like the season's gone by in a flash.
Yeah, it's gone quick as soon, hasn't it?
It has, and there's been a lot to unpack from the season, a lot to unpack from the game. But before we get into our analysis, shall we hear from the main man himself, Graham Coughlan?
Yes, please.
There's about 6 players out there whose contracts are due up. Are you in a position to say if any of those have in fact played their last games for Newport County?
I'll speak to the players. I've got meetings with the players tomorrow, so I'll sit down with all them and I'll pay them the respect that they deserve. So I'd rather sit down with them face to face, man to man, and have those conversations with them tomorrow. So I would guess Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I would guess a lot of it would come public.
It sounds as if the hard work with you and Chris Finn and all those surrounding recruitment has already begun ahead of next season.
Yeah, we've been very active. We've been proactive. Obviously, we can't get into the June and Julys and start bidding against other clubs. Or we are what we are. We offer what we offer, and if people want to take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. We move on. But yeah, we do have plenty of options, and we are proactive. And I'm constantly meeting players. I go on Wednesday, I go on Thursday. I've got 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. So we're constantly meeting them, we're constantly talking to them, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 through the door.
The remit or the expectation when you took the job, I think, 6-7 months ago, was to keep this club in League 2 first and foremost. You've done that with quite a few games to spare. Is there a sense of satisfaction in doing that first and foremost?
No, not really, because I'm not that type of person. I don't like down that end of the table. I'd rather us be higher. I'd rather us be competing for prizes rather than just trying to survive, trying to stay in. So it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it, to be quite honest with you. A super group of lads. The support we've received from everybody regarding everybody from the football club has been absolutely brilliant. The fans again today have come out and sang their hearts out, got us right back into the game when we were flat, and it's been brilliant. And the whole adventure for myself and Joe has been brilliant. We've really enjoyed it.
How competitive will League 2 be next season, particularly with big spend in Wrexham coming up?
Well, I think there's quite a few that will spend, so we'll have to cut our cloth a different way. We'll have to do things differently. But look, at this moment in time, if you're asking me, I think you're looking at 2 12s. I think you're looking at 2 leagues in one, pretty similar to League 1 this season. So I don't think it'll be far off that next season. Yes, if you want to compete, we'll have to obviously bring a better standard of player to the football club, but that's not going to be easy.
Thank you, Graham.
Brilliant, thank you.
Bye.
Nice day for young Kibben. He was excellent as well for his.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a good kid, Caban. He's worked hard. He deserved that today. He's been patient as well. So I just felt we needed to give him a go, have a look at him, and see what he could do. Hopefully he takes that away and comes back pre-season fit, ready, and able to compete for a place in the team.
You've seen that from him from being involved, not always coming on, but just being involved in match days. It's important, isn't it, for young lads?
Yeah, he's grown. We had young Stokesy on the bench today. We had young Pagey on the bench last week. So some will fall by the wayside. Some won't carry on the journey with us. They'll fall by the wayside, one or two. But the ones to hang in there, the ones to stick in there, it's a great story. And we've got one or two young lads that, well, of course, myself and Joe love working with them. We enjoy the development side of the game.
You said there would be wholesale changes. Is that still the case, even though you've had a bit of disappointment with?
It was a massive disappointment. Let's be straight. Let's be honest. It was a real disappointment. The manner in which we conceded goals, but that's been there all season. So that'll need to be addressed. I know what needs addressing. I know what needs fixing, and it's my job to try my best to try and get it done over the course of the summer.
Are you expecting a big turnover over the summer?
No, we won't be able to turn over many. We are what we are, and we have what we have. So I'm hopeful to get one or two in over the course of the summer. One or two will obviously go, one or two will obviously come in. So I don't expect wholesale changes, no.
Omar Bogle, 2 more goals for him today. He's ended the season on quite a high, isn't he?
Yes, he has. He's been very good for us, and he should have been on a winning team today. But defensively, we concede sloppy goals. So it's something that, as I say, we'll need to address. But yeah, Omar has been very, very good for us. He's went through a little barren spell, but he carries the team well. And the treatment he gets as well from officials is shocking, to be honest. Jersey, we may as well just send him out with no jersey on, because some of the things that go on, and he doesn't get the rub of the green, and he deserves better, Omar.
How does he continue that form going into next season? I think it's 7 goals in his last 6 or 7 games, something like that.
Yeah, he's probably one player that doesn't want the break. He wants to carry on. He wants to keep going. So does some of the other lads, you know. But look, the break is the break. We go away. He works hard over the course of pre-season, and he tries to emulate that form going into next season. And it's our job to try and get him one or two players around and about, and to take the burden off him.
Now the season is over. What are your reflections on the campaign?
Pretty much today, 90 minutes, with probably some our season up. Moments of madness, moments of brilliance, sloppiness. You know, so that pretty much sums our season up. To be quite honest with you, I've always been in the game a long time. Games like that are obviously you've seen it so many times in the past. The last game is always a reflection of the season. But look, from when we've come in, I can only call it from 32 games that we've come in. So I think we've only had 7, 8 defeats, something like that, which is brilliant to climb the table, to put that amount of points on the board, to be a real handful, to be hard to beat. I think we've done exceptionally well, to be quite honest with you, as a group, as a team, and as a football club, to dig ourselves out of the bit of a mess that we found ourselves in.
Cheers, Graham.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers for the season to you and Joe.
Thanks a lot.
Newport County manager Graham Coughlan there. Stephen, as you frantically write down your notes from what you got from that press conference, anything stands out in particular before we go into your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think, because obviously he was asked a lot of questions, not so much around the game, but more of kind of the off-field things, but which I think we're going to come on to later, so I won't answer it now. I think the most interesting thing I probably can talk about is Keeman Rye. I think, he spoke glowingly about him, and I was really impressed with him during the game. And obviously, saying Omar Bogle didn't deserve to be on the losing team, carries the team well, and I think, I suppose, the biggest thing is that 90 minutes summed up the season. Moments of brilliance, moments of madness.
I was going to come on to that, but I think
okay.
Summed that up.
Sorry. I think, I just love the way he speaks. He's from the heart, isn't he? And
almost in
really
the
enjoyed
in the Michael Flynn mode, that honesty, that passion that you'd like to see from a football manager.
Yeah, I've really, since he's come in, I've really enjoyed his press conferences. From the first one that we went to, when he was announced, I think, it's just been great listening to him. And looking forward to more next season.
Long way to continue. Hopefully, he'll be sat here, maybe where you're sat this current second.
Yes.
Keep an eye out on social media for that one. But what were your thoughts on the game? Feels like ages now since we played the Crewe on Monday afternoon.
It does feel a long time for me because I've been trotting across South Wales. I'm back again. I think. I thought during the game, I thought that first half, I thought Crewe started really well. RJ and Brook, who were looking dangerous, had chances.
He created a lot of issues, Lachlan Brook, when we played them first time round. I think he even scored against
us as well. Yeah. So they look two really good players. And then Newport kind of began to look a threat themselves and started creating chances for Evans and Ray, who I thought was looking really dangerous, making good runs, his movement, but he was also good at the physical battle as well, which was brilliant for a young player. He's only going to grow and get stronger, but you can see he's got something about him. And I was really impressed with his running, his movements and his link-up play. I was like, wow, we've seen little glimmers of it, haven't we? He's come on. I can remember, I think the first home game, he did a pass, and I was like, wow, this kid looks special. And getting to see him for about an hour, wasn't it?
But we've seen these players come through before, and Iron Livermore was one that immediately springs to mind. That they show promise, and then they just kind of fall by the wayside.
Yeah, hopefully this is not going to happen with this kid. I would like to see him get more. And then superb save from Townsend to keep it 0-0 from RG, where he shot and he tipped it onto the bar. And then Newport again had a really good spell. Chances for Evans, Lewis and Bogle. Could have got themselves a goal. And then Townsend again, save from RG again, who looked their most dangerous player really, didn't he? In that wider position. He sometimes plays central, but when Baker Richardson plays, he goes out wide. And
that's the benefit of Corny Baker Richardson. We've seen it last season with Dom Telford and the players around him, Azaz Cooper.
But he's a top player. I think I don't know if Crewe would be able to keep hold of him, but he's a really good player. And then I think the thing I noticed most from the first half was how predictable we were from set pieces. We know the tactic is play it to the back post, and I think it's just getting easy to defend. And I can remember doing the commentary with Chris, and I said that, and then I think on the next set piece they played it short. I was like, oh, hello. They must be listening to
They're mysteriously listening to your commentary.
Must have had a moment of genius. And half time, I suppose 0-0, not a surprise. I think it was something like the 7th time we were 0-0 at home, and the 8th time Crewe 0-0 at half time away. So probably not a surprise that we went in 0-0. And then second half, then I was expecting a really big kind of big half from both sides, to be honest. Last game of the season, you got 45 minutes left. This would be my team talk. You got 45 minutes, go out there and just leave it all on the pitch.
Especially that we know that some of the players that played on...
Yeah, well, it's the same for both clubs, isn't it? They know there's going to be changes. So, go out there and go and give your all for the shirt. That would... that would be my team talk if Stevie Cloppiola had been in charge.
We all know how good you are, football manager.
So, and I just think, both sides, it would just... And the game only really came to life when Adebisi scored, and I said it in the commentary. I think we've noticed with Newport County sometimes they need a goal to wake them up.
I know it's a cliche, but goals change games, and I think we did see that on... Yeah,
it did.
On Sunday.
And then I think from that, I think Crewe were a bit happy to protect the lead. Graham Coughlan made changes, and he had 3 strikers on the pitch. And I think that's where they got kind of caught out for the goal, because they were still adjusting. I think because it was McNeil dropping into the midfield, and I think that's how Crewe managed to exploit that space and score. And then got themselves back into the game, and then got themselves in front. But again, they were pegged back. So, overall... Which is
what you want to talk about.
Which is going to be my talking point, so I won't elaborate on that too much. And I just think, maybe a draw was probably a fair result in the game overall. I think, on balance of play, I suppose. It was disappointing, because you really wanted to end the season with a win. And, like I said, I think the biggest positive from that game was Keegan Wright's performance and what he did on the pitch. I was really, really impressed with him, and I think so.
And now we know what the release and retain list looks like.
we'll
we will. We already had an idea of what it might look like. We knew who was out of contract. We know we wouldn't have many forwards guaranteed at this stage for next season. Do you think Kiban Rai saves the club some money in terms of being ready for League Two and could have a full 46-game season, or is it still a case of bedding him in and getting him used to...
I don't think he'd be able to play every game over a full season.
Not every game, but do you see him...
But hopefully, because when he came into that team, he's made a difference. And I think...
When Charlie McNeil and Callum Kavanagh came in January, they didn't start all 20-odd games they played.
Well, either of them, innit? He'd start with one of them, bring the other one off the bench.
Could you see that with Kiban Rai, maybe Dan Zala, or
I think
another striker?
Yeah, because I think he can play like just in behind the strikers as well. That's what I'd like to see him play, and be that creative player that we've been crying out for, which we haven't had for a long time. So I'd like to see him. Yeah, I think if you play him just behind the strikers, so he can find his passes and find room on the pitch, then I think we've got a special talent there.
Yeah, and Graham Coughlan brought on 3 strikers. He went for the old Michael Flynn tactic of put as many forwards on the pitch. I think
it's the Graham Coughlan tactic as well now, because he seems to be doing it, doesn't he? Yeah, like I said, I think they got caught out a bit with the goal, but then I think it started to cause Crewe problems, then, didn't it? And you could see, and then it worked for the second goal, didn't it, with McNeil involved, and then Bogle scored. So but I've been really impressed with those two, Kavanagh and McNeil. I think it's been really good for them to experience League Two level. I know Kavanagh did a little bit, but for McNeil especially, I think to experience League Two football. Maybe next season he'll go, to another League Two club or a League One club, but you can see they've got that quality. I mean, they're just young and they just got to learn and develop a bit more.
You look at someone like Charlie McNeil, who's come through the firstly Manchester City Academy, and then Manchester United went and bought him.
Yeah.
You look at the way that they play football in the under-23s, so there's not much pressure on. It's more tactical, it's very technical. It's what you'd see from the Pep Guardiolas and your Jurgen Klopp sides.
And I think you can see that from him. You can see that he's technically really good, and there's probably been times this season where he's been making runs, and the rest of the team ain't on his wavelength, so they're not finding him with the passes. But I think that got better the more he was in the team. So I think you kind of get used to somebody then, don't you? Right, if I got the ball and he's going to make a run out, say, to the right, and you're going to start playing it into him. And I've been really impressed with the two of them.
Well, if that's a sign of things to come under Graham Coughlan's regime in terms of transfers, because we know that Graham Coughlan and Chris Finn and Joe Dunn are all kind of involved in the recruitment. If they're a sign of things to come, then we've got plenty to look forward to over the summer.
Yeah, we got a big summer ahead, haven't we?
Before we move on to the Absolutely County Man of the Match, I believe you had a moment of genius on commentary, didn't you, Stephen?
I always have moments of genius. What are you talking about? Well, I did actually say to Chris that the game needed a goal, and that's exactly what happened. So it's not often I get it right, but I must have fluked it on Monday. It must have been that hot dog I had before the game, and you could see that it just need that goal to spark both. Especially, we've noticed it at home a lot lately. That it takes the opposition to score for them to start really turning it on, and but they need to get out of that habit, I think.
So for the Absolute County Man of the Match, just before we move on, the options for the last run of the season were 2-goal man Omar Bogle, Cameron Norman, Mickey Dimitri played his 300th game
special shout out to Mickey
on Monday.
What a great servant he's been.
And other, which you can comment below. Who was your man of the match on Monday? For me, there's only one person.
There's only one person. Yeah, Omar Bogle.
Yeah, 82% of people agree with you. Yeah, you are a man of the people, Stephen.
You said it in the press conference. He has finished the season really, really strong. 7 goals in his last 8 games is a phenomenal return. If he can carry that over to next season, I think it's something like 19-20 goals he's got this season, so that's not bad going at all, is it?
17 goals this season in Sky Bet League 2 is his highest return since the 16-17.
He got 2 in the Cups, didn't he? So, so we've had a really good return from him, considering what did Telford do? 24?
25.
Exactly. So, and Telford went half a season more or less without scoring.
Many people as well were worrying when Telford left how he can replace his 25 goals, and Omar Boga seems to be...
Yeah, because I think what he did was he started the season really well, then he had a bit of a dip, but then he kind of...
It's normally like County, isn't it? Start well,
yeah,
have a patchy...
he did. He started off really, really well. He scored a lot of goals in his first, 6 or 7 games. Then he had a little bit of a break. Then he got the odd goal.
Do you think it took him a couple of months to get used to the Graham Coughlan way of working? Because we know he worked with James Robley.
Yeah, two different managers. I think the idea probably was for him and Zanzala to be the pairing, but Zanzala spent most of the season injured. So then he obviously had a different manager, different style of playing, so he has to get used to that. Then in January we brought in the youngsters. So yeah, I think he's had a really good season.
British rock band FM are on a UK tour. They'll be here right here at the Neon 10 Days time on Saturday the 20th of March. Doors open at 7:30pm and tickets are at a different website to normal. It's fmofficial.com.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
Yeah, so for my talking point this week, I'm going to ask lapses in concentration. Should we be worried? But before we talk about it, let's hear from Graham Coughlan himself.
Yeah, I didn't think we were great today, to be fair. I said at half-time we looked a little bit flat. It was a typical end-of-season performance, but the manner in which we concede in goals, it's not nice. So, look, I'll need to change things. I'll need to obviously change things if we're to cut all that out. We've tried to work. We've worked hard. We tried to work with people, and the same mistakes are happening too often. So it'll need sorting out.
Yeah, well, it's very, very interesting. You should say that because in the last 2 matches at home, we've either lost points or dropped points by conceding almost immediately after scoring a goal. Against Harrogate, we took the lead, then we went 2-1 down, got back in the game, and then we went 3-2 down and lost the game, so we dropped points there. We got away with it against Gillingham because they went 1-0 up. They got pegged back to 1-1, but fortunately they won 2-1. So, yeah. And then against Crewe again, then we went 2-1 up, got ourselves in a good position, let a goal in to draw 2-2. But for me, I'm just concerned about this because I don't want it to become a bad habit. Obviously, the team's going to look different at the start of the next season, but there's still a lot of the players still there. If you remember towards the end of last season, our home form was really bad. That run over into the following season. So I just don't want this to be kind of a pattern next season when we come back. What do you think, Luke?
I think that, firstly, he knows what he's doing. I think that between him and Joe Dunn, there's enough experience and nous there to fix the problem. He said that he knows where the problem is, and I think he said, whether it was in that clip or the press conference at large, he said that he knows the solution. And he said then he's tried to fix it throughout the season. It just hasn't worked. Whether it could be 2 things. Could be personnel or mentality. We've talked about mentality quite a bit over the season.
Yeah.
It could be personnel as well. So it could be a bit of both, maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's a mindset. Maybe they need to have a mental coach to help them. I don't know. But as you say, it's seen us drop points. And where we were, those points, especially when he took over, those, even if it's just a point, that could be the difference between 20th and 19th. He's the concerns the fans a little bit. So, should we be worried? Sitting here right now as the season's finished? No. Because coming up, he's got a full transfer window. He's got a full pre-season to work with his players. Yeah. With as many of his players as he can get in. It won't be a full turnover. It won't be a high turnover where we see 11 players go out, 11 come in like we've seen in previous seasons. But now he's got a chance to work 5-6 weeks consistently without a game on the training pitch. Get the players mentally ready, physically ready. We've got David Pipe, as a strength and fitness coach. Yeah. I cannot think of someone better than David Pipe. And if like you said, the hope form, if it's something that we see time and time again for the first, say, 5 or 6 games next season, then we should be worried. Then we should come back to this talking point and readdress it. Yeah. But for now, I think the wound is closed because the season is over. If it continues into next season, I think the wound will open again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the first few games of the next season to see if it kind of does. But I think you're right. He spoke, didn't he? He said, I'm going to change things. I need to change the personnel. So he sounded quite frustrated, didn't he?
I think Joe Dunn has reiterated that as well after the Harrogate game, where we went 2-1-1 and then it was 2-1 behind instantly. Then it was 2-2 and they scored 30 seconds or whatever after in the 90th minute to win the game 3-2. And Joe Dunn, again, really frustrated with and he did say it's personnel issue.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Luke. Are you holding a big or small event or celebrating a special occasion and need the perfect space? Well, you can hire the Neon. Call on 533-666.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
So for my talking point, well, it's not really a talking point. It's news that's come out about 4 o'clock today via social media, on the club's social media pages. We knew it was coming. We hear Graham Coughlan say there that it would be out Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. He had meetings with the players yesterday to talk about live on air.
Yeah, the timing of that was perfect, wasn't it? Yeah, thanks very much for that, Graham.
Just to paint a picture in our listeners' minds, we had a script ready to go for the show. We had an idea of what we were going to talk about. 4 o'clock when we seen this release.
You mean this show is scripted? You wouldn't believe it, would you? Sorry, go on, Luke.
We had the script ready to go for the show. This Released and Retained List came out. That script was thrown up in the air. It was torn apart, and we had to use the lot runners. We had to get up and start again, didn't we?
We did, yes, we did, yeah.
So, briefly, players who will be with us next season, barring any transfer offers or mutual agreements of their contracts or loans or whatever. So, following players will be with us next season: Sam Bowen, Declan Drysdale, Omar Bogle, Harry Charsley, Joseph Day, Will Evans, Joshua Edwards, who's an academy player, I believe, Aaron Wildig, Harrison Bright, James Waite, Ofrandi Zanzala, Kiban Rice. Stephen, off those names, there's not really any surprises there as you expected, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we knew that those players were under contract, so I suppose the positive things is Harry Charsley's come in, done really well. Omar Bogle, obviously we've spoken about. The worry with him might be if we get an offer for him, I would say.
He's 30 now. He looks like he's
somebody might fancy him. I mean, 19 goals. Do you know what I mean? Goal scorers are very rare in football. If you've got one and somebody is on a hot streak, other teams might look at him and think, yeah, we'll give him a go. And I don't think County could probably turn down any offers anyway. So, but hopefully he stays. It's good to have Wildig and Joe Day's there. So Drysdale, who I think is really good. So yeah, I suppose the big thing is the players were offered contracts to.
We'll come on to that in a minute. Yeah. Just before you move on, Kiban Rai, his name is there, and players who are remaining contract. Now, there hasn't been anything from the club saying that he has signed a professional deal, from what I'm aware of. This has come a surprise.
Is he still under a youth contract, maybe?
Maybe.
Or maybe he'll get offered a pro deal now over the summer. We do tend to offer them over the summer.
I think we've seen that last season with a couple of players.
Yeah, a couple of players got offered deals last summer.
But that's probably the most surprising one for me, these listed, and they're not the academy section.
Yeah, Harrison Bright's still there. So we like Harrison Bright, don't we?
He's fantastic in the marquee as well with the kids with questions, who ask some amazing questions, and he's always fantastic with them. So the players who have been made contracts offered to these 7 players: Scott Bennett, James Clark, Michael Demetriou, not Mickey Demetriou.
Michael Demetriou, who knew? Yeah.
Priestley Farquharson, Aaron Lewis, Cameron Norman, and Nicholas Townsend. Now, Priestley Farquharson was pictured on Instagram as of about half an hour ago, poolside with a glass or something.
That was Lewis Collins, wasn't it?
No, that was Priestley Farquharson as well.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. He's enjoying his break, isn't he?
So, 7 key players there for County. We've seen Priestley Farquharson, Cameron Norman, one player of the season. Mickey Demetriou, as we said, 300 up for him in a County shirt on the weekend. Aaron Lewis. 7 players there. Navy weight for us County fans. Prediction time, Stephen. those 7 names, how many of them are going to sign new Newport County contracts?
Well, I think Priestley Farquharson's going. I think he's quality.
West Brom, Cardiff.
Yeah,
any Championship club he's been linked to.
I'm not sure who he's been linked to today, but yeah, it's been a few different ones. But I think he deserves his chance to go and test himself at a higher level. I think maybe for me, I don't know, Championship might be a little bit too much too soon. He's got the quality. We saw it against Derby and other teams. He can cope. But I would think maybe go to League One, play a full season, or do you know what I mean? And then make the step up to the Championship, maybe get promoted. Who knows? So I think he's going to go. I think Cameron Norman's had a standout season. I think it's like 5 goals, 5 assists this season. Aaron Lewis has been our top assists as well, so I think they'll probably get the chance. If I was going to say out of those two, Aaron Lewis might stay. Don't know.
Okay.
I think he might.
I think Priestley Farquharson might stay, even if it's just for one more year.
If you can convince him to give you one more year, that would be huge.
Because if you look at, I think he said himself in press conferences, Newport County are the team that gave him his break in the EFL. If it wasn't for us taking a risk on him, he'd still be at Connors Key now.
Yeah.
And plus, he's come so far under Graham Coughlan and Joe Dunn.
Yeah.
And hopefully that they can see what the management duo are doing off the pitch, on the training pitch.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that rapport can be repaid by, yes, we can compete with the likes of Wrexham, who are coming up with multi-millionaire owners, but I think what we can offer is a place where people, if you work hard, you'll get better. Yeah.
I think that's how you've got to sell it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You've got to sell the club as it's not always about money, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's about Newport County's a brilliant club to go and play for. Terrific fans, terrific pitch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we improve players, we make them better. So hopefully you can sell it that way, really.
Yeah, you look at the likes of Ollie Cooper. Even in 18 months, he's in the Wales squad now. Finn Azaz was with us last season.
Yeah.
No matter what, he'll be in the Championship next season with whoever he goes out on loan to.
Yeah.
We're going to play a quick game, quick fire yes or no round, okay?
All right.
Yes or no, will they sign new deals for Newport County? Scott Bennett, yes or no?
No.
James Clark, yes or no?
No.
Nicky Dimitru, yes or no?
No.
Priestley Farquharson, yes or no?
Nope.
Aaron Lewis, yes or no?
Maybe.
Cameron Norman, yes or no?
No.
Nick Townsend, yes or no?
No.
Oh, interest. So you think we'll have a unforced clear out?
I think so. I think it's coming. Yeah. I think we're going to lose great servants to the club. Their experience is going to be really difficult to replace, just in terms of finding the players, but it's also going to be costly as well. So I just think, and I think these players now are at a stage of their career where they might want to, move closer to home and things like that. So, fortunately, I think most of them are going to go.
Okay. I have a different output to you.
Okay, that's good.
I think Bennett will stay.
Yeah.
I think that he's settled in Newport. He's been here now for 7-8 years. He's got family here, wife and kids, house, all that family growing up here. So why move now? I think he'll stay. James Clark, again, worked with Coughlan at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
He's spoken very highly of Coughlan. I think he'll stay even if it's just for one more year. Because he's not getting any younger again, James Clark, 32, 33.
Yeah.
Nicky Dimitru, it's tough. I'm like you said with Aaron Lewis, maybe. I'm going to put him in the maybe category. There's talk online about him going back to his boyhood club.
Yeah, Shrewsbury.
To be closer to home.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's from that area. I wouldn't...
Because if you think that last game was his 300th game, and it's a nice way to kind of finish, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And plus, when you consider he was walking around for his lap of honour on his own with his wife and 2 kids.
And same with Cameron Norman, it was his 100th game, wasn't it? So he might say, right, okay, I've done 100. He's definitely going to get offers, isn't he, Norman? Definitely.
Well, he had one last summer from Ross County, didn't he, up in Scotland?
Yeah, something like that, wasn't it?
Anyway, Priestley Farquharson, like reasons I just outlined, might stay. Aaron Lewis, I think, could stay. Although Graham Coughlan has said that if Wales people in the Wales camp are watching, he might be interested. So maybe Cameron Norman. As much as I like him to stay, I think he will move on. Unfortunately, whether it be League One or top end League Two. Wrexham, I think, have been linked with him. Whether that's a a true rumour. I don't know. Nick Townsend, tough one. It's always been him against Joe Day, and whether we try and look for a better goalkeeper this summer or not better goalkeeper. Or
it would be tough to find a better one, but I think he'll just want to play, I think, more.
Especially coming at his age, he's in full international
he's
now.
Full international now. He should be playing every week. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Unfortunately, a couple of players have been released. So Lewis Collins is probably the biggest surprise to me. We also have Jack Howard-Dugan, Evan Ovendale, Lewis Twamley, Joe Woodowis, Robbie Wilmot and Matty Dolan. Now there's a bit of experience and youth in there. You've got the experience of Robbie Wilmot and Matty Dolan, who have given so much to county over the years. But then you've got the youngsters like your Lewis Twamley, who you've spoken so highly about. Coughlan's spoken so highly about him.
Where did it all go wrong?
And Woodowis.
I'm Woodowis. When I've seen him, he looks a good player.
Lewis Collins went on loan to Torquay. He did okay there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lewis Collins, but I think, I think the writing's been on the wall for him for a little while. I think he's not getting in the team. We don't play with wingers either, so I think that's the same with Twamley. I think that's probably why they're going. So I'm shocked at Twamley and Cara-Dogan. He's highly rated as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Cara-Dogan.
But I think from a manager's perspective, I think what this is I think like when you're kind of this age, you're kind of like at a crossroads. Say Lewis Collins, for example, he's not going to get into the first team, so he needs to go somewhere. I think we spoke about it before, didn't we? To go and get experience.
We've
playing.
seen that with his brother Aaron.
Yeah,
he was with us and he went to Wolves in our academy. He came back. He still looked raw.
Yeah,
and then he went to different places. I think he was at Morecambe, started to score, and this season he's been named League One Player of the Year and in contention for Wales call-up.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lewis Collins as a player. I think I'd say like maybe he needs to work on his final ball and his finishing, but you can do that if he goes to the right club. But like I said, I just think it's a shame. You don't want to see good young players leave, but because potentially you might get a fee for them in the future, which we've been good at in the past. So like I said, I just think I think Coughlan thinks they're not going to get in the first team, so he needs to free up places for players who are going to play. I think he wants that tight squad with players who are basically all first team players, no reserves or really, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it should be interesting.
Robbie Wilmot and Matty Dolan, like I said, great servants for the club over the years. If they just had one day too many? Yeah,
and I think, a different manager now, different perspective, just probably feels that they're not going to play a part, so they may as well go and I think Dolan wanted to go home anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, we've seen him at Hartlepool, and I believe he's going back there despite their unfortunate relegation to the National League.
And I think the same with Wilmot. He's at that point of his career now where he's not going to play for us, so he might as well go somewhere and get some minutes.
Would that be Swindon? We know
possibly
Michael Flynn, who took him to Walsall in January, is now the manager at Swindon.
Yeah.
So overall then, Stephen, that release and retain list came out 4 hours ago. What's your reaction to it?
Well, I think we've got a big summer ahead of us. I mean, if all those...
Graham Coughlan's downplayed it numerous times, saying it's going to be a lot of the same faces. Yeah. It's not going to expect too much of a high turnover.
Well...
But then 7 key first-team players could be about to leave the club.
And the whole back line is basically decimated. We've got Harrison Bright and Declan Drysdale as players.
I'm left-footed. I could do a job at left-back.
Yeah, no, see, I'm more of a sit in front of the back 4 ball spraying midfielder, me.
We got too many of them.
I don't like to run around, basically. I mean, the midfield, we're quite heavy. We've got Bowen, Charsley, Wildig, Waite, Edwards. But we've got no right apart from a Harrison Bright, we've got no right wing-backs, no left wing-backs, again. Seems to be a common thread. And we've got Bogle and Zanzala and Rai can play up front, possibly in the midfield as well. So, yeah, big summer recruitment ahead.
This year, Exposure Wrestling have some great shows lined up at the Neon. There's no age restrictions. These shows are suitable for the whole family. All we ask is under 16s be accompanied by an adult. Dates and tickets are available at exposurewrestling.com.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
That's it. That's us done.
Yep.
Another season in the books.
Another season done. Yep.
Not yet, though.
Not yet. No.
We have our end of...
We did this last year, didn't we? We didn't finish the season till almost July, and then we started again at the end of July. So, yeah. it is what it is.
No break for us here though on Newport City Radio. We will be back very soon with our end of season review. Keep an eye out on social medias for when that will take place. We will return in August. They announced today, the EFL, the key dates for your diary. That's available online. And the weekend of the 5th of August is when the 2023-24 season gets underway. So we will be back around that date for either the first look back in Amber of the season or a little bit of a season preview.
Yeah, we'll have a season preview.
Or maybe even a special edition or two.
Yeah, we might.
Keep an eye out on social media for that one, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody that's listened to the podcast over the last season.
For sure.
It really means a lot to us. And we just want to say thank you so much for all your support.
Yeah, thank you to the club as well for
And
all
to
their
the club,
support.
obviously.
Yeah. So, thank you for taking the time to listen today. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook and Twitter via Instagram direct message. We were also on email, studio@newportcityradio.org. If you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it. We'll catch you at the end of season review as we look back in Amber on the 2022-23 season. More talking points, more banter, and more top-class analysis.